That movie Dawson featuring C on this one. Number the song is called The Forbidden. Some amazing sounds right here on TIA Radio. That movie. Hashtag Morning Mayhem or the King of the Morning. Thank you so much for tuning in and of course choosing us over the rest. And of course, as promised to you, we actually have the first lady of change inside the studio. Her name is Pandora Mabai. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
thank you.
To see you again, you know, like you don't understand how happy I am right now. I'm even clapping hands for you in the background.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can hear us. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Miss Pandora Mabai. Welcome. Good to have you inside the studio. And of course, the First Lady of Change. She's going to be coming through and, of course, inspiring us on this lovely Wednesday. She's actually our woman crush for today. Otherwise, the time now is exactly 49 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. It's the second hour of the show. And of course, inside the studio, we actually have this phenomenal lady inside the studio. Please do the most. And of course, follow her on every social media platform. She's actually available on Twitter. She's also available on Instagram. She's also available on Facebook. She's also got a YouTube page as well. Pandora Mabai, the First Lady of Change. Okay? Please do the most. Please do the most. Otherwise, how are you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm relaxed. It's so hot in Joburg. Like it's like but I'm grateful. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm energized. Let's do this.
Let's do this thing. Okay? Let's do this thing. Now, we actually received like a WhatsApp text earlier on, and the person was like, is Miss Pandora Mabai still coming today? Because it has actually passed their time. I was like, she's here.
I know I'm here. Traffic was just terrible on my way here, but I knew that I'm going to make it here because it's the Wednesday. We need to do this.
We need to do this. Now, Miss Pandora Mabai, yesterday I was actually, not even yesterday, I think it was this past weekend, you know, I was actually having a conversation with my sister, you know. My sister is actually suffering from Down syndrome, you know, and I actually recently moved in with her. And, you know, we were just having a deep conversation, and she was like, to me, you know, sometimes I just feel like giving up in life, you know, generally, because I feel like I'm useless. I feel like I have nothing to offer. And it really touched me. I was like, wow, it was like really strong words to say, you know. And I'm like, I took it and I personalized it, you know, and I looked at it. It's like, hey, man, sometimes we actually get to a point in our lives where we just want to give up. We just want to like lose everything because now this life thing is just too much on our shoulders, you know? Like, what do you have to say to somebody that's actually at a point in their lives whereby they just feel like giving everything up? Because right now, there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel, you know? Everything seems to be in a dark space, you know? They are clouded by judgment, they are clouded by prejudice, they are clouded by, you know, people out here pointing fingers at them, you know, and saying how useless they are, and they also start seeing how useless they are, you know? Like, what message do you actually have for somebody that's actually in a dark space right now?
Firstly, they need to understand that there's a reason why they are born in the first place. And there needs to come a point in life where you shut out the world and you look to God only. Because you find that when people get to that space of depression, where people want to kill themselves, where people say, I feel like giving up, you're giving up because you have not looked to the bigger source that's bigger than you. You are busy defined by people that are around you. These are just human beings. But when you get back, like when you go into a space where you are in prayer and you are speaking to God just between you and Him, there's some peace that comes. Because what makes you want to take your life in the first place is that you don't have peace. You don't have peace. And you're not going to find peace in people. So you will find your peace by going back to your maker. And it's between you and your maker, because it's only Him that can give you that peace. And once you retrieve that peace from Him, that's when it's like there's a veil that has been removed from your eyes. And you start seeing the world differently, because in most cases you find that it's the competition that people are running and the expectation of what the world is expecting of you. But the world can't define who you are. So to a person that's going that, I always say, run to God. Forget the world. Just run to God and trust me. Even if it's just a prayer of, God, please help me. He's going to help you. He's going to help you. Because there's nothing that anyone else can do to close that void other than the bigger power that's bigger than you. So they have not looked to the bigger power.
Yeah.
The only thing they have looked to is people,
Yeah.
of which people are carrying their own baggages themselves.
True.
And sometimes what people say the most is what they suffer from themselves.
Wow. Please say that again.
What most people say most times is what they suffer from themselves.
Yeah. Now, Miss Pandora Mabai, to be honest with you, I'm just speaking on a general sense now.
Yes.
We live in a world whereby peer pressure is alive. It's alive and it's actually kicking. We live in a place whereby we are constantly judged. Whether we do good, whether we do bad. You understand what I'm trying to say? So now, how do we actually close that gap and saying that's okay, right now it is just me? Because to actually come into a space whereby you just solely focus on yourself is actually not easy. As you actually alluded earlier.
Yes.
It's really not easy. How do you actually come into a space whereby you actually start focusing on yourself? And start shutting down the noise that people are actually making outside.
Peer pressure will always be there. It's never going to go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
People will always talk, whether you do good, whether you do bad. There's a favorite line that I have that I always say: what people say about me is none of my business.
Sure.
It's none of my business. And the minute you understand that you are not living for people, you are not looking for validation, because once people start defining who you are, that means there's something wrong with you as a person, because you are looking for validation from the world. What makes you as a person? Who do you say you are? So you need to know your true DNA. You need to be content under your own skin and understand that this is who I am.
True.
And it goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Your relationship with God. Because what will matter to you is what God says you are. And not what people say you are. But we have drifted away so much from God, hence so much chaos, that when someone speaks peer pressure, we're listening.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Uh-huh.
People will always talk.
True.
So who do you say you are? Are you content under your own skin? Do you know your true DNA and who you are? Because once you understand those three things, nothing and no one can get to you.
Yeah.
You are able to shut down. There are times that you have to listen to people, but you need to choose what you choose to take from them. Some conversations, you might find that there's so much negativity in it. But there's one thing that stands out. Always go for what do you want, and what did that conversation, what did it do to you? What is the most positive thing that you're walking away with? Because you have a choice to throw all the other rubbish out. The power is yours. And the power lies with you. You make the choice. So stop looking for validation from people. It starts there.
Very interesting. +27, that's 7925444329. And Mrs. Pandora Mabai is actually out here in the studio. Any questions I might actually have for her, come through. Let us talk about this one right here on #MorningMayhem. Time now is exactly 57 minutes past the 9 o'clock Central African time. We're diving straight into the last hour of the show. And of course, you know exactly what to do, but already inside the studio, we actually have this phenomenal lady. She actually goes by the name of Pandora Mabai, the first lady of change, man. She's actually out here to inspire everybody. Anyway, so time now is exactly 32 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time, and we're out here in the studio with the first lady of change, and she's actually out here just to inspire us, man, because everybody goes through a lot, and sometimes we just need that one person to come through and, of course, wake us up, and, of course, tell us what we exactly need to hear, because sometimes, even though the truth can be hard to actually, comprehend, it is really necessary at some point in time. Now, earlier on, we're actually touching, just off air, we were speaking about how men are just afraid of speaking out, and how men are afraid of speaking about their emotions, you know what I mean? And how men have not been taught how to love, pretty much, And, I feel like one of the biggest things in life, and probably one of the biggest things that we actually need to focus on as men is to actually talk,
Yes.
I don't know why we are so afraid of talking. I don't know, it's a matter of pride, it's a matter of cultural customs, it's a matter of society, it's a matter of expectations. I just don't know what is the problem. But we as men, we just need to deal with talking, and how talking actually really does help. You know, what is your take on this one, Mrs. Pandora Mabai? Because I know you've actually got strong views on this one, you know, when it actually comes to men lashing out their emotions as well.
You see, men need to show emotion. The cultural norms, the societal expectations that men are strong, men are not supposed to cry. I say, men, cry, please, if you have to. Bring out what's inside of you. It breaks my heart. We just lost Double HP. We've lost the Voyombolis. We've lost so many great men, you know. And when you look at the cause of the death, there was something within that was eating these men, you know. And because men are told to be strong, because men are told no, man is not meant to cry, and that's what kills our men. Our men need show emotion, open up, speak about what's eating you, because at the end of the day, that's part of your healing. That's part of your healing process in whatever you are going through. But if you are keeping all inside, this is where the depression comes in and steals from you. This is where suicidal thoughts come in. This is where you feel as if I have failed as a man. You have not failed. You just have not showed emotion. You didn't fail. You're just not doing what you are supposed to be doing, crying it out.
But now also, like, we also go back to the saying of indoda Kali, you know? A man does not cry, you know, a man...
That statement is so wrong.
It is very wrong.
If Jesus cried on the cross, guys, like really, he was a man. Like,
who are we?
he cried.
I mean, who are we?
I don't agree. I really don't agree with that statement that indoda Kali. Indoda Maikali. A man has to cry. Because when you cry, there's some sort of cleansing that goes inside of you, you know. When you talk about it, you're getting it out of your chest. You are taking the burden off your shoulders. That is actually stealing your joy. Because these people, you find that the whole day a man is walking into an office or a studio, whatever you might be doing, and you look okay. But the following day we wake up, this person committed suicide. Ganjan! What happened? Because there was something inside that man that no one could see. And that voice that says you are not worthy, it steals from you. But when you speak to someone, when you cry about it, and someone is able to bring you back and say, but you have not failed as a man. Men are human, just like women. They are human. They are vision carriers. And we need to help them carry the visions that they have for their lives. Not every man is going to be born a multi-millionaire. It doesn't happen like that. You understand? So, men, please do cry. Please do show your emotion. Confide in someone. Speak of what you're feeling. And when you've got a companion, that's why your companion is there for you. You need to say how you're feeling. Because you find that in most cases that when a man is not okay, the household is not fine. Sometimes it takes it out on the children, lashing out at the children. And a child that's lashed out to, they feel a rejection. So that is another seed that you're planting in your child, that I'm not wanted, I'm rejected. But it's not because that man is doing it out of his conscious mind. It's because he's been trained that a man is to be strong. But guess what? It's affecting other people in your life because you're not opening up. So I say to my brothers, cry if you have to. Show emotion. Show emotion. And just be real with yourself.
Okay. We just got another WhatsApp text here. This one, okay, the person wants to remain anonymous. The person comes to you and says that, good morning, King of the Morning. Good morning, Mrs. Mabai. I recently lost my dad. And I feel like a burden has actually lifted my shoulders because that man was very abusive to me and my mom. You know, I've always tried to actually speak to him, but I feel like I am broken inside to have actually made sense to him. Now, one thing that I want to understand is that since I've actually been lacking a father figure in my life, what do I need to do in order for me to actually make sure that I don't continue holding on to the pain and the grudge that I had for my dad? That's a tough one.
Number one, it needs to start with prayer. I say to people that when you forgive, interestingly, that was my daily inspiration this Monday. I was speaking about forgiveness. I was saying, when you forgive, you set yourself free from your own prison. Because it is a prison that you have put yourself into. You are the one that's holding the grudge. This person is gone already. What are you holding the grudge for? So you need to forgive yourself first. And forgive him for whatever he has done. And prayer always helps, you know. It's a communication of saying, set my heart free. Like, can I just let go of this? Because what's the point of holding on a burden, even if he was alive? I had to forgive my father for denying me as a child when I was born. There was a time in my life I was holding that grudge for the longest time. But guess what? I'm the one that was unhappy. So I can only imagine what you are going through. Forgive yourself first. Forgive him for what he has done to your mother. Break the chains yourself, because you've got the power to break the chains, and it's forgiveness. Father figure, are you looking within your community? Who is a man that you look up to? Which family do you see? And it models values, principles, morals. And when you look at them, you're like, wow, you know, that's a good family. Go and reach out to that man. A father figure is not going to come to you. You need to go and look for it. What do you want to see in your future that you see in a man? Go to that man and ask him, can I be your son? The worst answer you can ever get in life is a no, and a no makes you go knock at the next door. So it's if you are working, look around your work. Who is a man that really inspires you within your community? Who inspires you? Go and knock at that door and ask them to help you. That is the only way you'll be mentored into what you see and you would like to become.
Very inspirational. Also got one here. The person comes to you and says, good morning, Miss Mabai. I wish you could just come to every day. I love how inspirational you are. So Mashida, thank you so much for bringing her inside the studio. I wish she could just talk and talk and talk. Why doesn't she take the next show? Oh, you know what happened with the next show? There was a lady that was doing the show. She left. So they are suggesting that you take the show. Sis Musi, are you listening?
Sis Musi, I'm ready. I was born ready to serve the world.
Hey, man. The world needs you, Miss Pandora Mabai.
Wow.
Now, Miss Pandora Mabai, you know, we live in a world whereby you are constantly chasing your dreams as a human being, you know, and you constantly knock on doors, you know, and sometimes you get rejected. How much do you deal with rejection? Because whether you like it or not, you are always, you are not exempt from not getting a no. You know, it's not like everywhere you go, you're going to get a yes. But now, how to deal with rejection, you know, as a human being? Because I feel like that's one of the things that we as young people are constantly lacking, you know. When you are rejected by one, you tend to also look down on yourself and you feel like, you know what, you're not good enough as well.
Only if people understood that everything that is for you is already aligned to you. But the problem is people are chasing. When you take time, like even before I dress, people always ask me, you always looking good. I don't dress until I say, what should I wear today? I speak to my inner voice. And it always leads me the right way. I don't just dress. So with everything in your life, you need to listen to the inner voice in you. Sometimes people are chasing things that are not even assigned to their lives. And you're getting the rejection and the rejection and the rejection because those are not your doors. But when you start looking at life differently, but everything that is mine is meant for me. Everything that I'm born to be is meant for me, and understand that. And you've got a deeper relationship with your God. You'll knock at the right doors and they'll open for you. For instance, I came here with Heels in Motion. I was booked by them to be a speaker for that event.
Yeah.
But look at what has done. I am here every Wednesday now.
Yeah.
Because the steps are ordered. Like everything of yours,
lined up.
it's predestined. It's just there, waiting for you to walk into it. But the problem is, you wanna be Tabang. You wanna run after the doors that Tabang has. But that is Tabang. Who are you? What are you born to do? It starts there. When you understand who you are and what you are born to do, even when rejections come, you keep going. You understand? Because it's based on purpose. But people want to be copyrights. That's the problem. You want to be a Black Coffee. Black Coffee has paid his price and he's who he is today because he paid his dues. He made his sacrifices. When you listen to his story, he's got a story to tell.
Definitely.
So what is your story that you are telling? So don't want to be a Kim Kardashian. You can't. There's only one Kim Kardashian. You can't. So it starts with you knowing who you are and keeping to your lane. Like, I cannot emphasize on that. Like, just even if they are running faster than you, let them drive faster than you. It's okay. You will get there. But people are in a rush. For what?
Overnight success.
For what?
I'm sure your Tabang is shining. I also have to shine. You know?
But do you know the price that Tabang paid? Do you know the sacrifices that Tabang paid? Do you know what Pandora had to go through to be Pandora? So you always need to know who are you. Because you encounter so many challenges because maybe you're in the wrong space of industry that does not even belong to you. But because you saw someone else succeeding in that industry, you made it your own and you're like, Ungubani nam I want to be. You understand? No. Applaud those who are succeeding with a genuine heart and be happy for people. That opens doors to your own things in life.
You touch on a very, very, very important subject, you know, applauding for other people when they're doing great, because I feel like some of us are out here, they're so jealous inside, you know, we're so jealous inside, and we feel like the person is not deserving of whatever platform that they're actually in. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, we are constantly looking for the wrongs that people are doing, and we just forget to just focus on self more than anything, you know? Like, we are so focused on the world, we are so focused on what the next person is doing and what the next person is not doing right. You understand? And hence we just lose ourselves in that, so much so that we just don't know who we are and what we want definitely in life. And I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things that we as young people actually suffer from. You know, I know exactly for sure that I suffer. I went through that stage in my life whereby I felt like, you know what, nah, so-and-so is not doing great. So-and-so is not doing great. But then I was not going anyway in my life, you know? And I was depressed. I was depressed.
You can't.
I was depressed.
As I said earlier on, that what you speak about is what you suffer from the most.
Sure.
So what you are doing and pointing at other people, it's your own demons that are in you, eating you. And we need to understand that you're saying people are looking for wrongs in people. There is no perfect being. There is no one. What happened to correction in love? If you see someone doing great and they make a mistake, why not speak to them in love and bring correction?
You know?
Why go to social media and lash out on people? Why go and gossip about it? Why we need to get to a space where we are able to correct each other in love, because you love the person and you see what they are doing is great, but you see that this little mistake could jeopardize who they are. Then go in and correct in love. It's not your opportunity to applaud. Correct in love.
Mrs. Pandora Mabai is out here in the building, man. Sometimes I just wish I could just stay with her like for the show, you know? And you only just left in like 12 minutes of the show. Otherwise, let's take it back to the music. The number to dial is +27979254439. We've got the First Lady of Change inside the studio. She goes by name of Mrs. Pandora Mabai. Please do the most, and of course, I follow her on every social media platform. Now, I actually saw something really, really cool about you, you know? I saw that you were actually made the newspaper front page. Congratulations, okay?
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. When I saw that, I was like so proud of you. Like I was literally clapping my hands for you. Like, wow. And my sister asked me, like, why should I like, no. Like, I'm so proud of someone. Like, Manje.
Yeah, that's what happens when you keep to your lane, you know.
Yeah.
The right opportunities come your way, and everything that you are meant to be is already set out there for you, but you just need to understand who you are. And when you understand who you are, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there, but you will get there.
Yeah.
And the more you're giving the best of you, people will see what you're carrying. People will see what you are giving the world. And the world will give it back to you.
True. Now, we just got what's a text here coming to you from, okay, cool. This one is coming from Mushaya in Talisa. It's like totally, okay, let me just read the sentence. After stealing over 300,000 from our savings, I cried in the presence of my wife, but she never gave me a hug. She actually looked the other way as she felt strongly she was actually not wrong for actually taking our money without letting me know. How do we cry if we are not getting comforted? That is the question. Coming from Mushaya, all the way in Tembisa.
What is he saying again? Who took 300,000?
The lady, his wife, I may assume. She actually took 300,000 from their savings, and she actually never said anything to actually let her know that she actually took the money. So she pretty much took the money without his consent.
That was very wrong.
That was wrong.
Extremely wrong. And it goes back to the thing of what is your communication in your finances in marriage. They're very important.
Yeah.
You need to be very transparent. You need to be very open. And she was wrong.
Yeah.
And he's asking, how does he cry when he's not being comforted?
How do we cry if we are not comforted? Yeah.
Go cry to your mother even. Go home. If your wife is not giving you that comfort, go to your mother.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go to another woman.
Yeah.
Go to your mother, go to your sister,
Yeah.
and express your feelings and cry. It's you might find that when it's gonna come from another woman speaking to her, because the brother or the son has come to cry to his mother, you understand, then she can be able to intervene in the matter and be able to address, and she might do a better job than a man addressing woman to woman. And it goes back, what was your mutual agreement on finances in your marriage? Because there are no boundaries that you can break if you guys have agreements and you guys are building on something. So what was the communication between them around money?
Good question. Kinera comes to you on the WhatsApp line, and she says that, good morning, Mrs. Pandora Mabai. You are such an inspiration. Now, in today's young generation, we as young girls also tend to actually look down on ourselves. We sometimes do not feel good enough, and we sometimes need the validation of a man. How does one stop seeking validation from men specifically? Okay. That's interesting.
It is. You need to know that you are enough.
Yeah.
I'm enough. No one can define who I am. You need to love yourself. It starts with self-love. Because you're looking for something that you can't even give to yourself. Hence, you are looking for validation in men. So it needs to start with you loving yourself, loving your big hips if you've got big hips, loving your brown skin if you've got brown skin. You don't have to be a yellow bone for you to love yourself. Just fall in love with you. You can't give. And you will keep changing men, because from what I'm hearing from her is that we are always looking for validation in men. Meaning that if this one doesn't give me this validation, I move to the next one. You'll keep moving. Up until you start with yourself first. So fix yourself before looking for a man. And you're not even supposed to look for a man. It's a man that finds you. You need to chill. You need to be a queen and keep your crown. And just do what you gotta do. Let him find you. And when he finds you, don't compromise who you are. Keep your crown on. Don't drop it. Don't run. Like, just be a lady. You know, that's what it is. So you need to love yourself.
Okay, cool. She also comes here and has a follow-up question. Now, since Pandora Mabai, I suffer from self-esteem from issues. You know, I sometimes think that I can actually do something, but unless a man can tell me that I can do it, that is actually my biggest problem. Maybe is it because I never had a father in my life? That is probably the reason why I am seeking validation so much. You know. Another thing is that how does one stop relying on other people? Okay.
His story is my story.
Yeah.
Raised without a father.
Yeah.
And this is what we touched on last week, is that
definitely.
the root is fatherless homes.
Yeah.
Fathers, just do what you gotta do. Listen to your children's cry. Like, just be there.
Yeah.
You know? And all I can say to you, speaking from a personal experience, is that stop looking in men. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself, I am on a path. Believe in yourself and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Try whatever you want to do without wanting or waiting for a man to approve it.
Yeah.
The greatest approval you need is you and your God.
Sure.
You don't need anything else.
Sure.
That's the only approval you need. And I want to ask you, how is your relationship with your God?
Mm-hmm.
Because it starts with you having a relationship with your God to understand who you are. So don't make a God out of a man.
Wow. It is that time for us to actually step out of here. Mondays out here screaming. Well, it's exactly 11 o'clock Central African time, and of course it is at that time for me to actually say Papa Iri, everybody. I'm going to be back on your radio tomorrow morning. And of course between the hours of 8 and 11 a.m. CAT, Mrs. Pandora Mabai is going to be back again next week.
Wednesday.
Monday, Miss Pandora Mabai wants to take this job. So what do you have to say? She wants to take the show.
Oh, she wants to take the show. I think you should. Hey?
She should, ne?
Yeah.
Yes, even our listeners were like, what was that about that we got there?
It's like, I feel like the next show should be taken by Mrs. Pandora Mabai.
I want to take over the show.
Wow.
I want to take over the 11 o'clock show.
Oh, wow. You know
Stop
what?
me, right? Stop
I'm
me.
just going to keep quiet.
Okay, cool. Otherwise, so Monday is actually up next. The Petty Prince is going to be taking care of business between the hours of 11 and, of course, at 2 p.m. at CAT. Ms. Pandora Mabai, thank you so much for coming through, eh?
Thank you for having me here, Tavang. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Love you, Africa.
Africa loves you too. Eh?